Well, pretty good day of fights yesterday. The main event, Habib versus Poirier. It went the way I thought it would. Uh, I expected, I actually expected, as far as submissions go, that it'd be later on in the fight, but you know, it was Habib time. Now the Ferguson Habib fight has to happen now. I mean, there's no question. Which it should have already happened, obviously, but you know, both guys are coming off wins this year. There's there's no other challenger for Habib right now because he just won a fight. But so yeah, hopefully they can set that up either for the end of this year, but more than likely they'll probably set that up maybe early next year or something. But that has to be Habib's next fight, no doubt. Yeah, uh, it played out. It played out the way most of Habib's fights, usually play out. He was looking to, pressure Dustin inch by inch to the behind the black lines on the in the octagon. Uh, I guess Dustin kind of started out the way I expected him to. In that first round, he respected Habib a a little bit more than he should have. Obviously, he gave he'd give him a lot of. It was interesting that he threw those. He tried to use calf kicks to slow him down. Uh, Starting to get used a lot more in MMA, and I'm glad to see that. It's because obviously it's a good technique to slow someone down, and yeah, it's a good technique to slow someone down. Uh, he fought, as far as how he threw punches. He was clearly throwing leather in that second round. After you know, after his corner was telling him he had to get after it. He tried his best. It's good. I mean, it's a good showing for Habib. And like I said, you know, once Dustin started backing Habib up, he he was looking to move out to his left. And Dustin, he kind of let him do that, I reckon. But it's a part of the fight or whatever. It's part of the fight. And yeah, and Habib, once he gets someone behind the black line, it's throws a combination with the punches, gets you confused, and shoots for the takedown. It was interesting to see him throw kicks, which he's thrown kicks a few times before in some of his older fights in the UFC. And, I haven't, to my knowledge, I haven't seen him throw that many, especially going up the stairs with the high kick. And I think it was round 3. It was cool to see, but he was just throwing them to make Dustin overthink what he was going to do next. It's a good showing for Khabib at the end of the day. It's just, his grappling is just flawless. It's so beautiful to watch, man. And now I'm just excited. I can't wait for his fight with Ferguson. I'm interested to see how Khabib can deal with someone who has jiu-jitsu off of their back like Ferguson. For right now, as far as grappling, I think he's, in terms of wrestling, for sure, he's just 3 steps ahead of everyone he makes a connection with. Like, every time Dustin tried to throw the switch on him, he kept his hands clasped together, and he moved his lower body in the same direction as Dustin's arm when he went to switch, so that he was always behind it. Moved his hips in that direction. That way he was always behind the switch, and he can never get a connection, and still keep the back once Dustin couldn't move any further. It's like, wrestling wise, he's multiple steps ahead, but that's a lifetime of grappling. It'll be interesting to see how he fares with someone who's as skilled as Tony is off of his back. And it'd be interesting to see how he deals with the pressure Tony puts on guys on the feet, because at the start of every fight, at the start of every round, Tony just marches everyone down, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part, he just marches everyone down. And it'd be interesting to see how he deals with that jab of Tony's. Because, Tony's always looking to... He measures with his jab all the time. And jabs work well in, like, mirror stance. In same stance. Orthodox, southpaw. Jabs will land usually. I just can't wait for that fight. As far as the co-main, when I first watched it, it was for me, it was too close to call, and I felt like Edson did enough. But then I watched it again earlier, and it looks like I believe Felder won the 3rd round for sure, and Edson clearly won that 1st round, in my mind. 2nd round, I could edge it to Felder. I'm definitely going to be watching both of those fights again. I watched some of the other fights on the card. I'd like to see, after watching Curtis Blades, I'm wondering what he could do. If he could make the weight, what he could do at light heavyweight. I think from a wrestling perspective, I think most of those guys he'd be too big for. Obviously not John Jones. I could see him being in the top 5 for sure at light heavyweight, if he could make that weight. But, I could be wrong, I guess. But, anyway, I enjoyed watching the fights. I wish I'd watched the prelims. I didn't make time to. because how my work schedule is made up. I sleep during the day, but yeah, can't complain. I can't wait for the fight night this next weekend. I think it's next weekend. Cowboy versus Gaethje. I'd like to see I'd like to see what any of you think about the fights and think about how that fight will turn out. I hope you all enjoyed it like I did. Go ahead. I mean, if you've if you're interested in leaving any opinions, don't be afraid to leave any comments. And here's to another good fight night.